Alright, welcome back, hot dogs. It's your boy Spider Pig. Y'all already know what time it is. Another Super Saturday. Y'all know every Saturday I wake up early just to come talk about Dragon Ball and watch some Super content with y'all. Shouts out to the fan made animations because you know we keep them popping. Let me see what the camera looking like. Oh, yeah, it's almost perfect the first time I hit it. Well, let's get them going. Ain't no sense of holding y'all up all day, right? Right.
Warning, this video will contain spoilers and information from Dragon Ball Daima. So, if you wanted to watch that first, I suggest you do. Thank you. Universes and the deities found in them were a large revelation for Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima. We learn characters who we've known since the beginning have had knowledge about these things and decided never to mention them. But now, after these two series, we know that there are 11 other universes out there aside from the one that we've been following since the original Dragon Ball. And in each universe, they are fitted with their own unique mortal races, their own unique god of destruction, their own unique angel, and their own unique Supreme Kai. Well, that's almost always the case. See, Universe 7 is one of the only universes that has broken the rules pertaining to the number of deities they have. I'm Toasted Mushroom, and you're watching Toasted Mushroom, so if you like what I do, please give a like, comment, and subscribe.
Shout
And
out
let's
to
find out why
Toasted
Universe 7 has
Mushroom.
more Supreme Kais
He
than
looks
the other
toasted.
universes. For those of you who may not know the lore of Dragon Ball, we should discuss a couple of things that you would need to know so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Much like our Earth's religions, there is a hierarchy to the beings in the Dragon Ball story. There are mortals at the bottom, like humans and Saiyans, planetary guardians, like Kami, Kais, like King Kai, supreme Kais, like Shin or Gawasu, angels, like Whis, gods of destruction, like Beerus and Champa, and so on. Once you go above these, you get into the multiversal beings. And there are other unique cases outside of this hierarchy, like the demon realm, but we won't really get into that this video. The main beings we're going to discuss today are the Kais, also known as the core people, also known as Glins. So even some of you who are familiar with Dragon Ball may not know that the name Kai does not relate to the race, but rather the occupation. The race itself was originally called the Core People, but as of Dragon Ball Daima, we now know that they are a race of strong demons from the second demon world called Glins. The reason they were called Core People is because they come from the core of fruits that grow from 5 Glin trees in the second demon world. Once they grow up, they study in order to one day become a Kai for a universe. Rarely, there is a golden fruit that grows from the tree, and the being that emerges from that fruit becomes a Supreme Kai. They live thousands of times longer and are much stronger than the normal Glind, making them perfect for the job of Supreme Kai. Their job is to foresee the development of different planets in the various universes. They're given time rings, which are able to travel to the future, in order to view the progress of a certain species. They check to see if the development is how they want, and then direct gods of destruction to the ones that will not succeed based on their parameters. Basically, Supreme Kais are the ones who seed planets with life in order for them to develop into strong and capable races. They direct the gods of destruction to get rid of the ones that will not develop in that way. The link between Supreme Kai and the God of Destruction is one that is not only highlighted in the show, but is essential to the two types of gods in this universe. The Supreme Kai and the God of Destruction are so intertwined with each other that their lives are linked. That means if you were to kill a Supreme Kai, the God of Destruction for that universe would die as well. And if you were to kill a God of Destruction, which is much harder by the way, you would kill the Supreme Kai. This link is completely unknown. Important because every universe only has one God of Destruction. Conversely, each universe should only have one Supreme Kai as well. So what the hell is going on with Universe 7? We see during the Buu arc of Dragon Ball Z that Universe 7 has not one Supreme Kai, not two Supreme Kais, but 5 Supreme Kais at the same time. 1 Grand Supreme Kai and 4 Directional Supreme Kais. East, West, South, and North. This all takes place thousands of years before the story of Dragon Ball even begins. At the time of the actual Dragon Ball story, Universe 7 has been whittled down to 1 Supreme Kai. The Supreme Kai formerly known as Nahare, now known as Shin, who was the East Supreme Kai in the past. After Majin Buu was moved to the outside universe from the Demon Realm and activated by Bibidi, the 5 Supreme Kai fought him one at a time and subsequently lost their lives. Majin Buu, basically being a bubblegum monster, has the ability to absorb fighters and gain their strength on top of his own. He did so with the Southern Supreme Kai, and then afterwards absorbed the Grand Supreme Kai. This action completely transformed Buu, changing his nature from chaotic evil to more of a chaotic neutral. But that's not what we're really here to discuss. Why were there so many Supreme Kais in Universe 7? Well, I propose that the reason there were so many is the same reason there were 2 in Universe 10. In Dragon Ball Super, we see that Universe 10 has 2 active Supreme Kais at the same time. Gowasu and Zamasu, being the older Supreme Kai, mentors and trains Zamasu in order to prepare him for the of becoming an official Supreme Kai. This process involves looking into the future for civilizations and brewing delicious tea. So, in the same vein, I believe that the Grand Supreme Kai was teaching the other 4 Supreme Kais how to do the job that they would be destined to do in the future. This would imply that the Grand Supreme Kai was one of the oldest in the universe because he was mentoring 4 at the same time. That's very interesting because in Dragon Ball Daima, we find out that all the Glins who escape from the Demon Realm are all the Glins that will ever be, since the Glin trees no longer produce fruit. We also don't see any visual signs of aging on the Supreme Kai like we do on Gowasu, so it's not entirely clear. I haven't mentioned Elder Kai in this video because he is an extenuating circumstance, but we do see clear signs of him aging since he is 15 generations older than our current Supreme Kai. However, that too is because of an extenuating circumstance. It is also very possible that the Grand Supreme Kai was just the most powerful Supreme Kai, so he was able to help to a much more in-depth extent with the Supreme Kai's studies. This idea is corroborated by the fact that it was not until the Grand Supreme Kai was absorbed by Majin Buu that Buu's very nature changed. We don't get an answer in the anime or the original manga from what I could find, but if you look into the Dragon Ball Super manga, we find out during the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc that the Grand Supreme Kai used most of his physical/magical strength to contain the powerful warlock Moro. So that would mean that the Southern Supreme Kai is the more powerful one during the time that they fight Buu. This isn't to say that Grand Supreme Kai isn't still powerful as he was absorbed by Buu after Buu had absorbed the Southern Supreme Kai. If we take this piece of information into account, then we can say that it is not the Grand Supreme Kai's strength that has made him the perfect candidate for teaching other Supreme Kais, but most likely his strength of character, his knowledge of the job, and his wisdom due to his age. And the age is backed up quite well as the battle between Grand Supreme Kai and Moro took place more than 10 million years ago. So why does Universe 7 have 5 Supreme Kais at one point when other universes only have 1? because 4 Supreme Kais were learning under the much older Grand Supreme Kai on how to do the job they would be doing in the next coming years. They were each assigned a quadrant in order to have less responsibility before being responsible for an entire universe. Now, if you like my theory, let me know what you think in the comments below. Who's your favorite Supreme Kai? Do any of them have names that people remember? What information would you take into account more? What we learn in the Galactic Prisoner arc of the Dragon Ball Super
He said,
manga,
"Could
or the
anybody
newer
remember
Dragon
their
Ball
names?"
Daima? Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you have a good day and try to watch some Dragon Ball. And remember, if you're not toasted with toasted mushroom, you're just baked.
Oh my God. Hey, hope you guys are good content. I like that channel. I'm gonna have to remember to keep reviewing some more of his content because, like he said, hell, we toasted. We already had our wake and bake. I'm getting ready to roll up again, though, so you know how that goes.
Hello, monkey. I heard you like to fight, but never let an enemy out of your sight. When it's true that go with him to face our fight, the Frieza force would knock you out like a light. This time Gohan the only one to get your hand-me-downs, but he's at a pity party with his tears out. His hand was a weird case, why was he around? Certified Super Saiyan, certified imbecile. Frieza fuck him up. I might do my stuff. Why are you fighting like a bitch? Are you hungry? Try with all your might, but you're still a filthy monkey.
From the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits. They got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd, that tool being the sealing gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So, let's give them 67 and 73. Now...
Those were just power levels. That's a good video, though. Suggest y'all watch it. Click on that short, and it'll take you right to it.
Jesus Christ, really? Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth? I already joined this Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city? Yes. Blew up the domino. You blew up the domino, and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here? And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now. Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours? Kakarot! Kakarot!
Oh, I'm rolling up some roaches. Yeah, waking back is good. Now I'm trying to get high.
Well, now, this was something that I certainly was not expecting to watch take place, but am rather very glad that it did. Because with the way things are going at the moment, we are going to need everything that everyone can possibly offer in giving it their very best. Because anything less will it only go on to further guarantee our extinction if we aren't able to go and turn things around in time.
As I
Our story now continues back over on Earth with the entirety of Capsule Corp being shown under siege as Gamma 1 is shown defending both Dr. Hedo and Bulma from an onslaught of demons who are now looking to make their way inside, to which it was only just upon with Bulma and Dr. Hedo being shown panicking as they were trying to come up with a solution was when Dr. Hedo went on to then quickly respond, "Oh, damn it all, for it would appear as though Gamma 1's energy readings are rapidly dropping as he seems to be reaching his output limits, as there is no way that he can go and keep this level of resistance going for much longer, but until the updating process for both Android 17 and 18 are complete, then we have no other choice but to go and hold the line while we still can until something were to go and suddenly change within our favor," Dr. Hedo says. And so I say, unless we are to go and lose everything that we've been fighting very hard to protect here, then override the cryogenic lock if you have to, because we need 17 and 18 on the battlefield right now. Oh, I never thought I'd ever come to see the day where such creatures would be storming through the halls of Capsule Corporation like this and tearing everything apart while we wait for them to go and reach as Bulma responds. And since they've already went as far as to go and breach through the eastern wing, the entire laboratory is about to be overrun, and what's worse is once they reach and are able to go and get to the main reactor, then it'll be lights out for all of us. But, well, since the cryogenic process seems to be at 97%, we just need for Gamma 1 to go and buy us a few more minutes until it is done, so that way the updating process can reach 100%, Bulma continues. And so do you think you can go and do that for us, Gamma 1? Because 2 more minutes is all we need, and the rest will be in their hands upon their arrival, and so do you think that you can go and do it, with Gamma 1 having to respond, "Well, I hate to have to go and break it to you both, but you'll need to go and hurry and speed this up while you still can, because they won't stop coming, and I can only do so much whilst holding them off alone, and so whatever the two of you got going on," Gamma 1 continues, "it better go and be a good one, because they've breached through my energy blasters, and they are now just down the hall from where you both currently are. And so while I can't go and promise you both that I'll be able to go and hold them off for about another minute or two, whatever you are both hoping is going to work better go into effect right now before we end up losing everything." But even then, within that very moment, as Gamma 1 was being shown having to get tackled by several oncoming demons and looking to make their way through, was when one of the elite demons that goes by the name of Kaima went on to them respond, "Oh, and just like that, cornered is the machine, as he will no longer be what stands in between us and having him defend you any longer. Now go and move him aside, for we are just about to be in the middle of something very important, my fellow demons," as the secondary elite demon that goes by the name of Kyrax went on to them respond, "So what say you, Kaima? Shall we go and tear these two humans apart now and get this over with, or do you think that we should go and have a little fun with them first?" Well, I do have my eyes on that little blue-eyed mortal woman over there who is standing right next to that fat...
I'm just saying, don't say that little cute blue-eyed mortal woman, because that's, the boy Vegeta wife. Shouts out to Bulma. Y'all know they better not mess with Bulma. Hell, he'll go to war over that woman. Yeah, but he ain't there right now, so, he'll be mad at him. So I gotta look after Bulma more. Yeah, that's gonna be coming up in the side story we got coming up. But we ain't talking about that, because, we ain't talking about shit.
Little pudgy human next to her, and so I don't really know, as I can't seem to make up my mind. But what say you, Kyrax? With Kyrax responding, "Then let's just go and get this over with by chewing through their bones as we feast upon their organs before we continue on our mission in purging this world once and for all, Kaima," as Bulma and Dr. Hedo were shown clicking on a button with Kaima responding, "Well, in due time, Kyrax, in due time. I mean, what are these two pathetic earthlings going to possibly hope to go and do onto us that their little secondary machine in the hallway just now wasn't able to go and do on its own?" Kaima questions, as these two are the ones whom Haas had warned us about, because since they don't come close in possessing the necessary battle power to go and do anything to stand up against us, they instead make up in their superior intelligence over the rest of them, which could grow into becoming a problem if these little worms aren't carefully dealt with. But since we now have them both exactly where we want them to be, Kaima continues, and I guess it's best to see our mission through and wipe them both out now before we Bulma has to respond, "Well, little do you know that you and your buddies had went and made a huge mistake by attacking this planet the way you all just did, and so just you wait, because very soon you will both be extremely sorry," with with Kaima being shown approaching Bulma by then responding. And what exactly do you expect will happen by having you smash all of those keys on that board behind you that'll go and make any sort of difference here between us, Bulma? Oh, such a pretty little mortal woman you are, and yet what a massive thorn in our side you have become. And so tell me, any last words? With the dire Bulma being shown noticing two oncoming blasts making their way towards her by then responding, and well, since you are leaving me with no other choice here but to offer you my final words, then all I truly have to go and say here is brace yourself, Dr. Hedo! To which it was only surprisingly enough as two energy blasts were then shown having to make their way and smashing through the demons and causing them to fly out through the other side and outside of Capsule Corp was when Dr. Hedo then went on to respond. Oh, and just where the heck did those just come from? The entire building feels as though it's about to go and collapse, Bulma! With Bulma responding, oh, well, I did urge for you to go and hurry and duck to avoid any blowback now, didn't I? Well, right, but that was far too close to comfort, Bulma, and I don't intend to go and lose my head here either, especially since it would be best for us both, along with the rest of the city, that I do. But look there, I think one of them is emerging from the shadows right in front of us down this hallway. Hey, look, Bulma then went on to quickly turn her head by responding, as I just knew that those upgrades would go and come in handy in seeing those two back to being front and center like how they used to be. You see, I told you that they would all work out for the better in the end, Dr. Hedo. And so welcome back, you two, and you guys look great. With the demon Tsugami having to respond, artificial humanoid programmed intelligence, but of course, or I should have known that these humans would eventually become intelligent enough to go and forge their own formidable androids, and now look. For this doesn't appear as though it'll be good, especially with there now being two of them who approach me, to which it was only then seconds later through the smoke as both Ultra Android 17 and Ultra Android 18 were then shown having to reveal themselves, was when Ultra Android 17 then went on to respond, well, would you go and look at that, 18, for we have barely stepped out of our cryogenic chambers and we have already found ourselves knee-deep in Hellspawn. How very typical, but lucky enough, of course, for us, we are not the ones who should be worried here because you demons have no idea on what it is that you have just walked yourselves into, 17 continues. And so if they are looking for a war, then fine, for we will gladly go and give them one, and we'll make sure to go and do it on our terms as well. And since they came here...
But for those who don't pay attention, that's why I like watching Alex, because Alex always be coming with that shit. See, instead of nerfing your characters, because, oh shit, if I give him this new power, excuse me, that's kind of OP, and how do I write that from here on out? How is anybody going to fight him? Well, you know they got to be able to fight that power that he just got, and be good enough to consist with all the other ones. So you just write the bad guy exactly how you're supposed to write the bad guy, because the bad guy got to be able to be superior than what he has to defeat. I mean, but they're D students, so that's why they always have problems. They barely got their assignments turned in. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you wait to the last minute to turn in a paper, they told you to write 2 months ago. Hey, we're giving you 2 months to write a paper, and you didn't write the paper till the week before the paper, and then you got a D on it, and then you wonder why you're a D student. You had 2 months to write the damn story. Hell, you could have revised and rewrote it your damn self. Have you graded your own work before? No, you probably haven't. You see what I'm saying? That's why the teachers quit doing that shit back when I was in school. You can't even grade your own assignment. Hell, they used to just have you sit there and grade your own answers. And then you'd be sitting there wondering, well, how the fuck did I fuck that up? Because you did.
You're looking to go and cause destruction. We are about to go and turn that destruction right back around onto them. And so what do you say we go and give these people exactly what you've been looking for, 18? With 18 responding, then what do you say we go and grind these demons down into exhaustion and we make them all suffer for just a little, so that way they can know on exactly what it felt like when they themselves had went and had done the same onto so many of the other innocent people before us, 17. Because I am in no mood to go and play any kind of games here with these things, especially not with her over there, and so whatever you do, make sure that you leave her up to me. With Tsugami then having to respond, no, this
This wasn't supposed to happen. For these two were nowhere near in being a part of the equation, and so how could I have been so short-sighted to go and overlook such things? For I knew that this capsule corp held advanced technology, but to program such androids to this magnitude, and to further go on to build such androids who would be capable enough of standing against the Demon Legion itself, is simply and utterly unacceptable. What an infuriating setback. These damn humans and their endless ingenuity, always tampering with the unknown and always...
Oh, and then, since it's Bulma and Hito, they said, hell, we gonna have some problems coming up. If you ain't paid attention, look at them hands. Look at the hands. The hands have the what? Energy absorption. What else? Modules. Yeah. We'll just call them modules. They got the energy absorption modules. So as soon as they fired at them guys, they was like, oh, we'll just take that. Yeah, add it to our power. And yeah, good luck getting back. That's why I said, shout out to the A plus students, because then they'll actually utilize things that they've done set up.
Expectation, for I have went and
Hell.
underestimated them both, as I thought that their advancement...
The worst part about being a Dragon Ball fan on my side is I realized Toriyama was a D student a long time ago. Like, this guy's cool, but he actually does some dumbass shit sometimes. Which then, whenever you realize why he would do dumbass shit like that, because he wasn't officially a good anime writer. He's a comic writer. So then whenever he does this, he's like, well, I got a good story, because he stole another good story and gave his own spins to it, which is what Dragon Ball is. It's his own spin on Sun Wukong. Shout out to Journey into the West, but hey, that's why I tell you, you copy a good story and you come up with your own side story and people will still like it, because this D student did exactly that. You see what I'm saying? But hey, shout out to him. But Alex, on the other hand, he's actually a good writer, and y'all see what I'm talking about when I be giving people their props, because Alex actually comes back with the shit that was already set up in the story that basically Akira Toriyama had failed on. Well, why the androids just like mid these days when at one point they should have been the shit? Well, now they need an upgrade, is what you're saying, and he actually did that. And let's make it an upgrade within reason of the universe. Okay, so you give them the power absorption on top of, because at some point they cap out in power, so they're not stronger than say, for instance, Jiren. But then now you give them energy absorption on top of the strength that they already had, so they was a little bit short. Now they can absorb Jiren's energy to actually match and meet him on his level. So yeah, shout out to the upgraded androids. I appreciate that.
Were bound by the limits of their mortality, but I can now see that I was clearly in the wrong to do so, with Ultra Android 17 having to then respond, hey, so we think that it would be for the best if the two of you were to go and clear the way for just a second while we go and address the old man here in his fancy little lab coat there while we can, with Ultra 18 having to then respond, and since we have a feeling that you are some scientist yourself, then how's about we go and give you a little helping hand there and having you go and take this back to your laboratory in the demon realm, with Sugami responding, well, actually, android mortals, I think that it would be wise for me to go and gain a larger standing here against you rather than being limited to the spaces within this lab, and so, if you truly wish to go and get your filthy hands on me as badly as you claim that you do, Sugami continues, then I will go and see you both on the other side of these walls here and on the outside in the open, as I dare for you both to go and try to catch me then if you can, androids, with Ultra Android 18 having to then respond, oh, we can't just let him go and escape, but hurry, 17, we need to forge a barrier to shield the lab at once. Right then, to which it was only just upon with the Ultra Androids then being shown creating a barrier around Bulma and Dr. Hedo and shielding them from the explosion was when Ultra Android 17 then went on to continue, well, that was a close one just now, but it looks like that one there might be a tricky one to tag, since he appears to be using those portals of his to quickly jump in between worlds before he could fully be tagged by anything, with Dr. Hedo responding, what an incredible surge of power that was, and this barrier that they forged to shield us, it's outstanding, and they were actually able to go and respond so fast that those demons didn't even know what hit them,
with Bulma having to then chime in, yeah, no kidding, but did they go on to put an end to those two out there for good is the real question, with Ultra Android 18 responding, you know, the two of you should go and stay put here and leave the rest of whatever is taking place on the outside for both me and 17 to handle from here on. You got that? And as we do just so happen to believe that it would be for the best if you did so anyways, because we don't want to go and run the risk of having anything happen to the two of you while this goes on, which, speaking of, 17 then responds, hey Gamma 1, are you alright over there or what? How are you holding out, and can you still continue to fight, or do you still need a little bit of time to recover? With Gamma 1 responding, yeah, I think I'll be just fine out here, but, well, if the two of you are willing to go and step in by taking these two head on, well then by all means knock yourselves out while I keep an eye and defend the laboratory in the meantime then. And so I'll just go and stay here with Bulma and Dr. Hedo while you two go off and do your thing, with Kaima having to then respond, curse those wretched machines and these slimy little humans for building them. Kaima then went on to respond, and so now on me, Kyrax, for let us go and shred these pieces of trash before we go and lose the advantage that we just held. Well, with Gamma 1 still in the game, Ultra 17 went on to then chime in, what do you say we go and run these monsters down and show them on how we like to go and get down here on Earth before we go and turn their lights off permanently? With Ultra Android 18 responding, then let's go and show these freaks on just how dangerous we used to be like back in the day, but do make sure to go and leave that Kaima demon to me, 17. Well, I'd hate to have to go and ask here since I kind of already have a guess as to what you're doing over there, Bulma, but you don't surely plan on activating our Capsule Corp Supercell Max model now, are you? Dr. Hedo questions, with Bulma responding, Dr. Hedo, listen to me, for we are not going to let these demonic freaks go and have their way with us here, for they think that they can just storm in our facility, go inside and tear apart the entire building and overrun everything that we want.
See, what he just said is now he's going to incorporate a what-if story into the story. You see what I'm saying? My boy's throwing stories within stories within stories. Hey, we going to just do it all. Shout out to the season. He said he going hard in the paint. You know what I mean? Well, how are you going to ever top that? It's simple. There's always another story to top another story. You just got to be willing to write the story. Or, you know, find a story and then do it yourself. You dig?
Watch Bulma continues, and so, it's a good thing that we went and had been preparing for something like this, because now it's time for us to go and show these demons on exactly what we're capable of. And so you don't have to go and worry about its functions here either, because even you said it yourself when we were building this thing, that this model is stronger, more controlled, and far more adaptable than your original Cell Max, and that means once it's deployed, Bulma continues, we will finally have something that will go and stand on the front lines and take the fight directly to those demons, alongside with both Gamma 1 and Android 17 and 18, and so the time is now, Bulma continues. And so once this bad boy is operational and ready to go, those demons won't even know what's coming. So with the calibration process nearly complete and with the energy reactors at its peak output, Bulma continues, once we go and bring Supercell Max to full power, it'll be an unstoppable force, as it won't just be a defensive weapon against them, but a colossal titan that was solely designed to protect this planet from anything that dares to go and try to threaten it. To which, moreover, as this was shown happening, when then having to venture on back onto Lord Beerus' planet and seeing the arrival of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly upon Beerus being shown having to teach Vegeta the essence of destruction, was when Beerus then went on to quickly respond, well now try to respond, I almost had it right where I needed for it to be, but it continues to slip right through my fingers every time I try and redirect its aim and getting it to be used as a paralyzing maneuver rather than simply having it be an uncontrollable and destructive one. And so I think I got, wait a minute, Kakarot, you were back already? But surely you didn't intend on coming here if your original motive was to go and grab Broly and make your way to Earth, wasn't it? Or did something go and happen along the way, Vegeta questions, with Beerus having to then chime in. Right, and why do you all look a little banged up there? Because you didn't look like that before you left my world, and so what exactly happened back on that Saiyan's home world? Well, we didn't honestly think that we'd have to go and come back so soon, Goku responds, but, well, not only did those demons go as far as to find us on planet Vampa and attack us before we can even know what hit us, but on top of it, it would also appear as though they are now on the hunt for us as well, Goku continues, so we couldn't really go and do
much outside of simply grab Broly and come back here to ensure that none of us are ambushed whilst having to get away from the rest of the group, but there also now appears to be some kind of a sudden and dreadful shift that we also felt within the air as well, with Vegeta responding, well, we went and felt it too, and so this must be the work of that bastard Raijin, but what exactly happened to those demons then if you say that they went and attacked you all on planet Vampa the way they did, with Goku responding, well, they went and tried taking out Broly, but as soon as we went and stepped in to go and try to stop them, they went and used those demon portals as they made their way back inside of the demon realm, with Gohan having to then chime in, yeah, and with more of them now on the loose, we can't just go and take any more chances since they currently hold the numbers advantage here over us, and so I say, instead of allowing for them to come and try to go and attack us here in our universe, I say we should go and bring the fight to their front doorstep and go and challenge them directly in the demon realm, as Beerus went on to then quickly respond, well, with those annoying little demons aside, Beerus went on to then chime in, what exactly does this one think he's doing here? For he's been staring up at the sky now ever since he's gotten here, and so now what gives? Hey, are you alright there, Broly? Gohan then went on to question, you seem to be really fixated about something, and so what exactly is it that you keep staring at up there? With Broly responding, look closely, up there above the clouds, there are portals that are starting to open, which means that they have found us, and so they're coming. With Gohan responding, hey, wait a second, look, he's right, those rings in the sky, they were able to go and track us all down, to which it was only surprisingly enough
they know what
unbeknownst to our
Beerus'
heroes
plan
within
is,
that very
Goofy.
moment as the evolved demon Haas went on to step through and addressing our heroes was when Haas went on to then quickly respond. So I was
That's some
right
shit
to go
Gohan
and
would say
assume
when he
that
was a
this was
scholar.
going to be where you wretched mortals would go and run off to, but I'm not surprised one bit by this decision, and especially since you all believe that its governing god of destruction, Beerus, is going to go and protect you all from what you all already have coming your way, but nevertheless, we are all now here. And since we will now go and ensure you all that there will be no more running away now that we are all finally here to meet you in battle, and I went and made sure to go and even the odds this time around by calling upon some additional reinforcements just in case I needed it in order to ensure that you don't escape our clutches again, to which as the Dark Masters Gira and Jogo were then shown having to step through was when Gira then went on to respond, well, now would you go and take a look at what we have over here, for Haas was right to have predicted that this was going to be where you mortals were going to show up, and now that we have found them, it's time for our order to finally come to pass, and since you are all finally gathered together here and being exactly where we wanted for you all to go and be, we just hope you go and know that this is where you have reached the end of your line, as you will hereby meet your end right here, right now, with Jogo responding, oh, and look, well, if it isn't the one who went and was lucky enough to have gotten away from us when he first did after attempting to challenge our authority within the demon realm, for we have much to catch up on, don't we, Gira? And so now how do you want to go and do this? Because I say that we butcher these mortals here and now in preventing them from having a chance to go and fight back. But what say you? With Gira responding, oh, I see him, yes I do. But since of course we rarely ever find the chance in getting the opportunity to go and enjoy ourselves in punishing such pathetic little vermin like this, I say we go and have a little fun at their expense for a little while, in going as far as to inflict as much punishment onto their bodies and onto their souls that we could possibly go and exert, and then, only then, once we have went and had worms into the dirt where they belong, Gira continues. We then go and finish them off for good before we go and carry on by making our way into the other remaining universes within the multiverse, with Gohan then having to respond, oh, and so I take it that these two there are what make up two of the four governing Dark Masters of the Demon Realm then, is that it? But just how in the world did they just go about in having to track down our whereabouts as quickly as they just did? Oh, as I can only assume that it's more than likely due to the imbalance that they've caused all throughout the multiverse that had led tracking us all down the way they just did, with Goku responding, oh yeah, they are, and I would know best since I had to go and deal with these two back when I was first in the Demon Realm, with Vegeta responding, it's great, and it looks like they've brought company whilst going out of their way to come and find Since one, because this is bound to go and get ugly real fast, and that goes for the two of you up there as well, demons. And so don't try to go and get the wrong idea.
I mean, but just look at that squad, though. You got Four Saiyans and Lord Beers. Come on now. That team right there should be clutching this. Like, why is they not powered up though? That's what I'm saying. They over here in base mode still. The enemy already done showed up and they talking, and y'all ain't even going through the transformations yet. What the hell? Like, nah, let's just go ahead and kick this up. Boom, 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 boom. All gas on it.
Idea about us all here either. With Gary chiming back in, well, we have quite the group of warriors on our hands down there now, don't we, Jogo? Because as cute as it is to see you all band together like a pack of rats, fighting amongst one another will not go and save you, with Jogo responding, and since you are the last of a very small few who stand in the way of having Lord Raijin complete his mission, from this moment forward, you will come to ultimately realize the dangers of your actions in choosing to defy us whilst knowing that you have no chance in stopping us. As Goku then went on to quickly shout, yeah, well, keep dreaming, because if the two of you think that we are just going to stand down and watch you plunge the multiverse into further darkness, then you demons have another thing coming, because we aren't looking to settle things here between us until we know for a fact that this is over and done with for good, and so don't even think about it, with Vegeta responding, well, if your intentions were to come and find us along with willingly going as far as to perish in battle for the sake of honoring your deranged master Raijin, then far be it from us to go and keep you waiting then, with Jogo being shown cracking his neck and responding, you're arrogant in assuming that you will go and walk away from this battle with a victory over any of us is your first mistake, for we will go and stop at nothing to ensure that Lord Raijin's will in having to eliminate all those who choose to go and stand in the way of his plans will be fulfilled, and in your cases, there will be no last-second comebacks given and no unexpected saviors that will go and pull you away from the abyss of our wrath. And for the promise that we have made to our great king in finishing the mission, we will also go as far to ensure that you read from your punishment like how you were shown being before, because since we are both here and since we already know as to what it is that we can expect from all of you, we hope that you are all ready for what is about to come, for you will not be so lucky to go and escape our judgment for a second time, and so in the name of Lord Raijin, let us commence forth and begin, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Riddle sequel, manga chapter number 33 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that although I am rather surprised in seeing the end result of what Bulma and Dr. Hado had created in witnessing the birth of these new Ultra Androids for the very first time in seeing them in action, what I am rather concerned about, however, is knowing the fact that with the Dark Masters now finally having to arrive onto Lord Beerus' planet in looking to battle against our heroes, I can't begin to help but wonder on how much time our heroes will have before things go from bad to so much worse if Raijin were to find them, and because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal Int Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal Int Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
What up?
You dirty bitch. Roshi, the fuck? God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell. And we're demonetized. Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Is Vegeta the best husband in Dragon Ball? Vegeta found himself a rival upon entering the Demon Realm. Hype showed his interest in Bulma, and Vegeta's sensors as her husband quickly started working. From that point onwards, Vegeta has always had an eye on Bulma. In episode 14 of the anime, right when the party was about to enter the Demon Realm, they found out that the ship was not going to endure this final leg of the journey, so all of them would have to fly. However, Bulma is the only one of them all to not have the ability to fly, and even though Hype kinda stepped in, Vegeta quickly took care of it. Without a single doubt, Vegeta...
Hype was talking about, yeah, I'll gladly carry you down. Jesus looking at him like, hold on, but those are my cakes. I'll put them right back in the honey buns. Yeah, he said, I am not a honey buns, sir. I'll cover.
This is just another
Yeah, I
instance
got
of Vegeta
this.
looking after Bulma. Obviously, the most memorable one being his fit of rage after Beer's scepter. And this begs the question, after all he's been through, the best and the worst about Dragon Ball Daima. The best. Dragon Ball Daima has had the best production ever for a Dragon Ball TV series. The show included very detailed and high-quality animation as well as really cool battle choreographies. Also, from a lore standpoint, Daima has added a lot of knowledge into our books. From the origin of the universes in Dragon Ball to the tale of the Namekians. Let's not forget just how epic the canonization of the Super Saiyan 4 has been. It is definitely an anime worth watching. The worst. Daima had some inconsistency in its narrative flow, especially from the moment it introduced the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta transformation onwards. It did pick up the pace in the last few episodes, but it had a filler sort of content that felt kind of awkward midway. We also cannot forget the fact that there's a major plot hole right now regarding the Super Saiyan 4 form and its connection with Dragon Ball Super, or even the fact that they teased a potential fusion through some bug items that never actually happened. Definitely a disappointing and odd choice.
That's just your boy being your boy. Did I forget to put another video at the end of this? Oops.
You're making a big mistake.
It's gonna be a short one today, then. Shout like your check.
Where do you think you're going?
And they wonder why Gohan quick to motherfucking go and pick up a book. He said, I ain't trying to be out there being active. Look at what being active gets you. You got old niggas like this motherfucker right here, Vegeta, and shit like this to young Gohan. Then y'all wonder why that boy said, hey, y'all go out there and be active as you want. I was standing here with a book, okay? Yeah, book him, Ditto. Then they just sitting there watching like, y'all just gonna let this man assault this kid? That's supposed to be Rizhan here in the future.
Waste of talent. Not today. Back off. Have it your way. A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Are you okay?
You see what I'm saying? Like, boy, take your ass home somewhere. Shout out to that big homie. Y'all ought to go check out DJ Is. Y'all know he basically shot me this beat off the top because it was like, yeah.
Remember me when
Yeah.
you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there. To the morning light.
or just Vegeta in general, because he's always there to keep the story going. That's one thing I remind people. Vegeta's that character that, I mean, if Toriyama wasn't a D student, anytime you need something to change in the story, it's because you got Vegeta right there. Well, technically, since you're following the story of Son Wukong, he's one of the aspects of Wukong. You see what I'm saying? So that's what can always change the story. Well, which part of Wukong do you want to focus on for storytelling? Because then you just pick that part of Wukong that you want to tell a story about. That's why I said they could always have good Dragon Ball content, because the same reason why the Saw series is good, in my opinion, because they tell you parts of the story without you knowing that, well, this was actually years ago, but we're just dropping information on it now. That's why most people don't get Dima. You see what I'm saying? So imagine that, hold on, that's why they said there's inconsistencies in the story. Well, yeah, the story we've been listening to was told before this other part of the story was written. Now that that other part's been written, now the next part of the story is going to have to explain all of that, which sets you up to pay attention to the next part of the story. I mean, Demon made perfect sense to me, because it was a D student setting up an A student. He's like, well, he sat down, been working with Toritaro, got him the pointers on the drawing and how to handle the work, basically, because he picked his replacement. You see what I'm saying? But his replacement already knows how he's going to run and take the story when he gets full control, which he currently is getting that now. So that's why I said he was building Toritaro up to take his job, because the man was like 70. Shit. He picked his replacement. That's why I keep telling people, like, he was setting all these questions to be handled by Toritaro and Toritaro's up and coming run. So that's why I said he just got everybody. He did what he's supposed to do. He threw his guy the alley oop. You see what I'm saying? Now, when Toritaro does get to actually come back and they start the series and start running, and then you see where it got led to. He had all opportunities to create the story to explain things coming up, and then he's going to be able to move the plot how he's wanting to move the plot for whatever he's trying to do. But then it has everybody interested in it even more, because Demon made no fucking sense. It made plenty of sense. You see what I'm saying? It was the alley oop. I'm gonna throw it up in the air. Then when my dude come in, he gonna grab it, work with it, put it down there for y'all. You see what I'm saying? Shouts out to, like, man, they don't get it. Yeah, that's why I said. That's why they say we the worst fans. Because hell, they be so like, why does it not make sense? It's an alley oop. He's setting Toritaro up for when Toritaro wants to come in and explain why Toritaro is going to skip straight to Super Saiyan 5. Yeah, you can have any speculation. He'll cover that in the flashback 3 stories into a season from now. You see what I'm saying? Shouts out to that big homie, Dallas, Texas, Guns and Cooking. Y'all know who that is. That's that big homie. Go check out his other channels, because like I tell you all the time, if you ain't locked in with your boy, you're fucking up. I'm over here clicking the buttons on the wrong phone. I done got high today. I done got high today. Throwing in that jacket though. He probably live on one of his channels, so go check him out. Hell, we'll pop up here in a sec.
I released a video recently where I made the assertion that not a single one of you could beat any Dragon Ball fighter. And the hilarious part is, the comments were flooded with people who thought that I was wrong and that they had valid answers. You're all wrong, so let's go through them. You think you can beat Chaozu in a fight? Sorry, my guy, but he can fly, psychically control your entire body, and shoot deadly Dodonpa beams that would have one-shotted Goku an arc prior. So yeah, try again. You think you can beat Ranfan or Bacterian from the World Tournament? Well, at least you're getting a bit more creative now, but still, unfortunately, both of them, despite their gimmicks, were still highly capable fighters that made their way through the preliminary rounds of the most illustrious martial arts tournament in the world. Unless you are a legit high-level professional fighter, which I highly doubt you are, you ain't taken either of these guys. Videl, not even close. Chi-Chi, she is absolutely wiping the floor with you. Oolong? Well, okay, he's not really a fighter to begin with, is he? But honestly, he might just turn into a rocket and fly out your reach, so even if you do cheat, you're still not beating a Dragon Ball fighter. Sorry.
That's a video I gotta record. Y'all better quit cheating. Quit cheating. Don't try to look at that video. Don't try to look.
Pause an anime fight scene, or this is what.
See. I said don't try to watch it. I said don't try to watch it. Anyways, YouTube, y'all have a nice day. I'll see y'all 10 o'clock on TWP. Rumble, whenever this video get posted, y'all know there's a TWP video after that. So y'all know to do what y'all do. Y'all know to do